Integrative neural theory is based on the commonalities between nearly all therapies there are that are effective, and looking to use those aligned with science to see what's the most effective underlying processes. Here's a little summary. We can get to those later. Let's imagine first the brain, the conscious brain. You know, the subconscious brain, we've got all the breathing and those things that you see someone downtown who doesn't look so savoury and you get a bit anxious automatically, even if your conscious brain's saying, no, just play cool, it's fine. That subconscious is still there. That's the majority of the brain, and that's what we've got to work on in trauma-informed therapy. And in integrative neural theory, we make this pivotal because we all generally have someone we talk to where each day we see what's come up and try to find a way to deal with it, even if that's within ourselves. And as we try to deal with it, things that are too much or that we don't know the answer to, we just move on. We watch some TV, whatever we do. And those things can get pressed down. They become subconscious. We all know that stresses are linked to health problems. If you're tense in this way, worried, then often it's shoulder pain. If you're like, oh, that makes me feel sick, often it literally makes us feel sick. So in integrative neural theory, we look at that's that pattern that people go through, and we've got to help them to get through it. But why do we do that? We get so wound up in work and life and distraction. We want to understand a bit more about the brain for this. And I've got a way to summarize this. I use a little acronym, the WISE animal. Imagine, first, when someone comes to tell you something they're stressed about, think of that in the past. They come in going, oh, and this happened and this happened. There's worries and there's defensiveness. That's like the warrior part, that guard that stands at the gate that might never use their weapon, but is still on guard. And then as they start to get through that, they start to intellectualize, we call it in psychology. We go, oh, and it could be because of this and that, whatever else. Then they start to bring in the old, people say this, and we should do that. And we help them with that too. Oh, why don't you try such and such? So we've got the warrior, we've got the intellect, we've got the social shoulds, W.I.S., wise. And don't forget the emotional bodily parts. Still has a resonance. You know, there are 8 basic emotions. Some of those are worry, some of those are anger. They all happen on a daily basis. Sure, you might not get angry every day, but you get to the edge of the road and you look left and right, that's a mild version of anger where you go like, this isn't safe. And that's normal for small amounts of time and to a small degree, not the full extent of anger, just a little bit of, oh, that's frustrating, it can be so dangerous. So these 8 basic emotions, they're in there too. It's partly they're conscious, partly they're not. And there's something else, the animalistic part. So we've got the warrior, the intellect, the social, the emotional. They correlate to complicated neural networks within the brain, not like AI. It's mostly one network that averages down to a solution. Our brains have multiple networks that kind of argue with one another. They kind of compete the whole way through. It develops their own ethics. How can we resolve this? This is the only way. I've determined this is the only direction. That's why I'm speaking. And when we understand those differing parts of our brain and we can hear each of them, we can come into balance rather than feeling fragmented. That's a shortcut to it. Everyone's unique. And that applies very well to integrative neural theory.